Tish, who's going to do the HVAC project update?
I thought it was Steve Smith was on that.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. One last piece of the puzzle to wrap up that project is the condenser unit for the last classroom, S22. It's due to arrive on the 10th. As soon as it arrives, the contractor will install. He's been coordinating with Steve to get in there and wrap that up and then commission that. And he's working on some punch list items right now, a few left. And that's that'll wrap up that project. The last condensing unit is coming in right there. That's the latest.
We end up that whole thing.
Yeah, that's not. How it's done? Is that done?
What's the question?
We put the new flue in and.
Yeah, that's done. The water heaters are running.
Yeah, so I've missed the last couple of
Okay,
meetings.
yeah, no problem. Yeah.
The only thing that and you couldn't tell until we hooked it back up was the metering valves for the hot water. Just old and decrepit and fall apart, so we haven't manually metered for the water temperature, but we have to replace those at some point. So we're gonna kind of throw that in with this project because it's not, because we get 8%, 80 cents on the dollar for doing that. So. Really expensive. Still, it should be part of that. That's really the only other thing that we found down there. You just taking care of. It's minor. The hot water heaters are great. Good difference.
Thank you. Louis, you want to give us an overview of the packages?
Yes, I believe that the one on top is the general contract package. So an update on that. The greenhouse is part of that package. We were unable to even schedule the borings to be done. The company that was contracted to do it got bought out. They wouldn't even get back to the engineer about that. So we opted, and with a lot of help, we're able to get an excavator to dig a couple of test pits. And that was done, and the soil was good. There was a layer of organic material about 2 feet down, so we expect to, of course, the foundations will go below that. But for the slab, we expect to take that out and come back with structural fill. So that was, we know what we're up against and we can deal with it, so that was good. And then the testing was done on the concrete for the middle school gym floor, and it tested positive for mercury. We met with the industrial hygienist and with Patrick Emery, discussed all of it, and just recently we received the report that basically addresses the process of how it's going to be abated. It's just like you abate asbestos is done under containment, and I identified to be disposed of as that material. They also recommended that, so that structure is a precast plank structure with a 2-inch top on it. That's the way that Flexicore typically is.
Is there a layer of steel between the concrete structure and the poured floor? Or is it
No.
just poured right over?
It's for, mainly it's done because the way that they do pre-stress concrete planks, they build them in with a little chamfer.
Yeah.
So when the loading happens, it settles down. Sometimes they don't settle down all the way, so you got to level the floor. So usually you set them down a little bit and then come back with a topping to make sure that you have a level floor. We could try to remove a little bit at a time. We thought the best approach is just to get rid of the 2-inch topping, come back with 2-inch topping. That gets us a good surface for the new floor to be warranted and to perform well.
Yeah, that way everything will be level with the doors too.
Yeah.
You start right fresh, it'll be easier to level up the door jams and all that. We'll know it's good to go.
Yeah, no argument.
So, so all that is in good shape. We are maybe 99% finished with the construction documents. We're certainly, after tonight, if you approve the 60% submittal, we're ready to submit that to RIDE. And then next week go out to bid. The only thing that RIDE requires is that you don't award until we get back the comments for the 60%. They've been amazing this year. They've been doing it really, really quick, 1 to 2 weeks. So it should all fall in place. If you'd like, we could go through the drawings if you're interested in seeing it. Trish, could you help me on that? Just the first package and we'll just go through it. Yes. Thank you. Cover page, next. We'll just really skip through a lot of it. This is the abbreviation. Okay, so this is actually, so along with the general contract package is some floor replacement at Metcalf School. There's existing carpeted classrooms that we're replacing with VCT. We had that surface tested and it tested negative for asbestos, so we're all set to perform this work. So this is that scope of work. Next, please. Okay, and so also, I don't know if you recall, but originally we had the replacement of some gypboard ceilings in the corridors of the additions that were required so we can insulate the ductwork above, because we think that that's where a lot of this staining and leaking that happen, it condensates and then it drops. We used to have that in the roof package. We moved it to the general contractor package. It makes sense that that work be performed as part of this. So these are the drawings for that. Next, please. Next. We're going to go back with a suspended acoustical ceiling easier to be accessed in the future if we need to get up there instead of having the gypsum ceiling that we had. Next, please. And then we include the drawings of the ductwork to make sure they know what they're insulating. Next. Additional information on the ductwork. Next. And then these are floor patterns. We want to add some color to the new flooring. So we have some floor patterns in different colors. So this is the engineering drawings for the greenhouse package. We are going with the permeable material on the paving, as we discussed when Dave was here, which will allow the water to go through and drain better.
Dirt floor inside the
No,
greenhouse,
it's inside the greenhouse.
permeable cement, the permeable,
No, it's concrete.
it's concrete, permeable concrete.
No, just permeable is
He's
the
talking about
paving on the
parking.
side,
Oh, I'm sorry,
the part,
of the greenhouse. So dirt,
concrete.
that's concrete.
Concrete. I know that there were some thoughts about,
There was concern from, I think, that group that came in a couple of times.
yes, but first of all, RIDE requires 50-year materials to be done. And then there was concern from the ADA commission about having a dirt floor with that. So concrete is the way that.
That was, couldn't get out of that. Because of the handicap.
Yeah.
That's the right word, no, pardon me if it isn't, for the handicap. How about for the functionality of the greenhouse?
Well, we have, the concrete is pitched and we have many floor drains.
So
That's all.
a dirt floor would not be utilized normally? in the
No,
greenhouse?
it usually isn't, and I know it's probably the standard in commercial greenhouse, or maybe, but you have to think that it gets wet, it gets wavy, and it would be difficult for a wheelchair to move there.
Have you been in the old greenhouse?
I have with you, or I looked in the window with you anyway.
Inside, the surface is rough, yeah, I believe it's better to go concrete, because that's just basically mudded sometimes.
Okay,
It has a paper over it, but that paper.
so it's not an advantage to have a dirt floor in the greenhouse.
Maybe if that's what it was just at somebody's, commercial site, that might be, but this is for teaching stuff, so I think you definitely have to have that just for.
It's really not venture.
Thank you.
Okay, so then similarly to Metcalf, we have some floors and classrooms that are being replaced in the high school and middle school. We've identified them into two categories. One is base bid, the other portion is alternates in case there's a budget concern and cut back.
Yeah, I picked out the worst ones, and those are the ones that I'm gonna do first. Some of them, they carpets been down for 30 years.
Next, this is all part of all those packages. Next.
Petrified now. It's not carpet anymore.
It's not really carpet.
Okay, then we get, this is what the new greenhouse looks like. It comes with its heating system. It comes with the doors. So it's really delivery and place on the concrete foundation that we build. And we also supply lights and fire alarms.
That's the old greenhouse.
Yeah, the old one.
That's the old.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's the old greenhouse.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, yes, well, we're demolishing that. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
I could tell you,
Why would we make one just like it?
I could tell you guys we're not that impressed. So this is the new foundation for the greenhouse, the floor plan of the greenhouse. One of the things that the group that came requested was that we have 2 sinks, and so we've included that. Next, please. This is what the
That's it.
Next, please. How it's built. Some details of the things. And
What's taller? What's taller?
Okay, so this is, we get into the science lab work. This is the demolition drawings. Most of the demolition is being done in these 2 labs.
Excuse me, I read in the notes yesterday that there's delays on some things, including the greenhouse, supply chain delays. Did I read that right?
I think we're seeing delays on a lot of things, but the main concern that we had on delays was the science lab tables, the auditorium seating, and possibly the greenhouse. I think that one of the things that we're going to emphasize is that the contractor should carry a greenhouse that's readily available. And the other thing with it,
You're thinking that they might have it already, they might carry it, they might stock it, is that what you mean?
I think they possibly could. These are all standard, so we're very careful to only specify standard fabricated pieces. It should be in warehouses, able to be delivered. Okay, next. So that was the demolition drawing. This is the new layout for the science labs. New student tables, and it's hard to see, but we also, no, that's good. We provide new flooring, we provide new whiteboards and tackboards. One of their biggest complaint was the glare on the lighting, so these 2 labs get new lighting. And then this gets new wall finishes, RFP panels for the animal area. We do some demolition and open up this window, which they wanted. And then generally, they all get new power upgrades to provide plenty of outlets for them to do the work throughout the labs.
Putting a new panel
Excuse me?
in? I'm just curious, they kind of have to put a new panel in?
No,
No,
there's plenty of the existing, because that used to be shop areas, so there's plenty of power. I went around with the other one.
Floor patterns for the new flooring. Next. Then we have the interior elevations. We show how all the storage cabinets work, all the casework works, the whiteboards, everything that goes in those spaces. Next, please. Same for another lab. Same. Next, please. More interior elevations. Next, please. And then we get into the auditorium package. Basically, there's a lot of work that goes into the stage area, and it gets new curtains. We resurface this back wall for performances. It gets a new theatrical light system. It will have a new sound system. The existing house lights are not able to be dim, so it's important that those change, so we're changing the general house. And then the seating is an alternate, and then the whole space gets completely refinished.
We're losing the auditorium completely for one whole school year, is that correct?
I think that's the worst case scenario. We're really hoping to have all completed by the end of this year.
By the end of this calendar year?
Yeah. So you lose the first semester.
When is the drama season for the students?
Spring. It's winter spring.
So, yeah, I think that the administration has carried that message just Just in case,
They would rather have a auditorium than anything.
but if, and Steve, you might touch on this because we've talked a lot about it in the plan, about how to deal with maintaining the science lab operation so that the contractor, do you want to speak?
Yeah, so if we do run into issues with the casework, which you could, even if it's standard stuff, they still have to build it. And of course, the summer months are, everybody's building schools and so forth. So during the summer, we could go in and do all the new electrical work, tear out the old floor, leave the old cabinets and tables in, leave the flooring underneath it. Seal those floors, so when they come back at the end of August, you'd walk into the same space, but you'd have your new lighting, your visual display boards and so forth up, your new power, the data in the room, and just walk on a sealed concrete floor. And then when the cabinets came in the fall, right now we're projecting the worst case of like an October-ish range. And we buy this out in the packages going out to bid. To do that work second shift, come in at 5 o'clock or something with those crews. We move in the night, remove cabinets and put cabinets in, and then possibly the next night start the floor, but to give the classroom back every night for use the next day.
Or at least have a very limited shutdown. Maybe a week.
Very impressive.
If it turns out they have an available space, you could bang it out quicker, but there is a way to do it.
How much cost is that at?
You lose some efficiency working the second crew, so.
But you also lose efficiency after set up and break down.
Right, exactly, and then you gotta take into consideration, they need the desks back in the room, so who's moving the desks in and out every night, it's a school expense or a project expense or whatever, but,
Yeah, that's.
or the other option is, you get all the materials and you hold them, then on the week break at Christmas, you just come in with the contractors and attack it, and you're done. It's not a ton of work, it's really 2 rooms, and then the other side of the school has only got 1 teacher station. That's
Yeah,
it,
the
so.
other stuff is electrical and FFP, and that's.
Right, so you can get all that done in the summer, it's really the casework is the item, so we could look at it in a couple different ways.
Yeah, I think we should.
I know that they can use, if one room is being done, they don't always use the room next to it and the room next to it at the same time, they have a period, so that maybe with the adjustment of schedule, they may just move over a room and they can leave that room vacant for a whole day. Because I've been watching those classes.
What's the time frame to complete a room?
Just for the cabinet work and the
That
flooring
would
and so forth.
be what's left, right? The
Yes,
cabinet?
yeah. Yeah, when the new cabinets go in, you have some new plumbing that goes in. So you could get a room done in a week.
Is it being bid, all of what you're saying, second shift?
Yeah, so we'll put it in the schedule, a second shift for that activity. And then now that we're discussing this, I'll put a deduct alter in there to do it over the holiday break during regular business hours. So we would know what the savings, you can separate that extra expense to do it in the second shift.
If it comes in early, that's a bonus.
Next. So just to review a little bit. So there's an existing ramp here. And what used to happen, or what happens right now, is that an ADA student would have to leave the auditorium, come around to this door, and then go up this ramp. What the ADA commissioner has agreed to is for us to provide a new door right here, which lets you go into the space and be able to go up the ramp and to the
We'll
stage.
just lose a closet or two that's not used much.
It's just one
It's a
closet.
small storage area,
Yeah.
really.
And it seems like a small difference, but to them, it's very important that the ADA special needs student doesn't leave the auditorium to have to get access to the stage. No, the ramp is an existing ramp that's located here now. The auditorium wall is here.
But access to it is just a door from the auditorium.
That's
On the
right.
side.
You know, where the senior high office is, where the senior high office is, the left-hand door, if you go on the left-hand door, it's straight across, there's a door right there, that's where that ramp is.
Part of the work that we're doing is increasing the area of the control booth. We provide a new window or sliding window that provides a bigger area and lets them control the space. These are the details of that door that we're installing. This is the details of the installation of that window.
Security we're talking about?
No, it's just that in the control booth, they want to be able to really hear what's going on the stage. Right now, you can't, so they want to have some sliding glass windows that they can open up and be able to hear and control the sound from the sound booth.
So the sound and lighting control is going to actually be in the booth now,
That's right.
as opposed to,
In the middle of the auditorium.
It's quite a concept.
are you putting any ventilation system in?
No, we had that.
It has ventilation system in the area.
But in the booth?
In the booth, no. They open the window, they will.
It's just saying, with the whole sound and lighting board in there, it's going to get warm. It got warm with just the light in there.
We'll do that.
We could probably get rid of the back wall. Or something,
Yeah.
that back wall.
Well, there's louvers right in front of it. It's hard to see, but right there, there's two, one louver here, one louver there, that go right through the control booth. So you may be able to just tap into those.
I appreciate you going into everything, but I think if we go into this level for all three packages, it's going to be here a little bit too long.
Okay,
Trying to
so
skip over a few things.
I think we've covered the scope for this work pretty much. So if you want to go to the next one.
And the only other thing in this package would be the gym floor that you're aware of on the extra high side.
Yep.
You know, removing, replacing, concrete removal. You're all aware of that. So
How do they break up that 2 inches?
that's part of this
Ne-
package.
Next package.
How do they break up the 2 inches? What do they do?
Usually scarifiers,
Yeah.
What is that?
scapular. It's a, you know how they chew up the asphalt on the
Yes,
highways?
yes.
Yeah, it grinds. You just have to do it with
Calibration.
You have to do it with, you know, HEPA controlled air. People have to be in protective clothing.
Yes.
so they're not
Okay, stop.
fumes, dust.
Not to go into the prefab.
And again, I won't go into a lot, but You know that we hired a roof consultant expert. He did explorations, he did the pool test, so we are totally on top of what's going to be needed to secure the new roofing system from uplift, the wind mainly, that's a concern. We're going to bid both roofs with the base bid as the metal roof, and then have the alternate, at the duct alternate, be the shingle roofs. We think that usually contractors try the hardest to get what you put in the base bid because they think that's what you want. And so we'll get the best prices out of the base bid and we'll see what savings if we need to consider. Do you want to go through any more of this and that?
The question I have in the loop is, because I missed a couple of things, how do we solve the whole insulation, snow melting?
Yes, interesting. So when we went to do the design development details, our guys noticed that the details didn't match what was out there from the original building. So we did a core test, found that there was 2.5 inches of insulation there now. And talked to the structural engineer. He thought, well, time is the best test there is. It's been there for a while, so he's comfortable with the structure. And so that allowed us to do the metal roof and provide all the safety features to it.
And structure of the metal's a little bit better. How are we gonna protect the kids who like to play in the base of it in the wintertime from discharge of the snow?
Well, see, we get to hold on to that snow longer, and so it doesn't just at one point slide off. There's snow guards that come along.
Okay, that's fine. Just wanted to make sure, because that was a concern.
Yep. The last one is the site. I don't know if you want to go through this. This is basically the parking lot and the playground on Wall. Do you want to go through? No,
Does anyone want to go through this? Okay. No, that's good.
Is there anything that you need us to do as far as the stage 3 approvals go a bit?
Yes, if you could approve the 60% drawings to be submitted to RIDE.
Do I have a motion to approve the 60% drawings to submit to RIDE
So moved.
For all 3 packages.
for all 3 categories?
So moved.
So a second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay. Get some invoices we have to approve.
Yes, there's one.
There, look at, see.
I have no idea what we're approving, so.
So that is in the Downs packet that I handed out. There are invoices.
Yeah, I didn't get the paper version or anything. Holy mackerel.
Oh, I'm so sorry about
They skipped me
that.
an email, they didn't give me the paper. Oh, man.
Oh, we gotta fix
So there's
that.
there's an invoice there from ATC for the HVAC project. $119,597 and change. And for Stephen Turner, who's the commissioning agent for the same project, for $10,894.33.
I have a question. Although we trust Stephen Turner, Inc., without an itemized invoice, is somebody verifying? Who verifies this without an itemized invoice?
We do.
Okay.
Yep, so it's, he has a contract with the district on the amounts and so forth, so, and based on where he is, on the percentage wise, this turns out to be a reasonable charge for where he's at.
Yeah, and I've been with them most of the time. Because I'm on the here. No, yeah.
Does anyone else have any questions? Is there a motion to approve progress payments of $130,491.64?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. I think you kind of already skipped ahead and did this, but the project review for timelines on the roof
Well,
and everything
I got a
discussed.
couple things.
Sure.
Yeah, just basically with Steve, it's just, I need to have.
Yeah.
So I just need an outline of when we get started so that, because this is in the summer and this is when we do all our heavy cleaning, most of our repairs. So I need to know like which area they're gonna start, like doing floors, so people will be in that area, we'll just start, I'll bring those people to another area to get that area done prior to this one. So
Okay.
then I can have that group to go to the next area, when you're done there, to redo those floors. 'Cause even though they're new floors, we still have to, we have a process. We have to,
Sure.
You know,
Get so many coats on.
it has to happen, they have to be cleaned first, prepped and all that stuff. I just want to make sure that we're, and same thing with the electrical, I want to make, we get, like you said, before, get the electrical in and the lighting in before everything, that way we can go about our business. I think that's my only concern. The timeline for the playground is gonna affect us with we're dismantling the playground, so we'll just leave it all together until it's all complete and so on. So it's just basically that cabin here with the flooring is my major concern.
You can say something. All right, future capital projects. So school safety got added to the agenda. Tish, did Bob have anything particular to go with that?
Yeah, so you can see the attachment with the chronology of the safety and security work that's been done in the past. He also has been made aware that federal dollars are going to be made available for these particular types of upgrades to the buildings. And that, our future projects will address Senator Rishwar's request to, discuss safety. And the superintendent has a scheduled safety walk through
Seven,
through seven.
Seven
It was
days.
3 days,
7th, 8th starts.
yes. Which is RIDE mandated that this occurs. So there'll be more information made available after the safety walkthroughs are completed.
So this is not in this current, the funds for this is not gonna be done now, nor is it currently funded.
That's been done.
This is done.
That's all been
This is
done.
all
This is completed.
This
This
is-
is the investment that the district has made to date.
Okay, so there's additional security doors and things that's all done?
No, this is all.
This is
Are
done.
there additional proposals for,
No, that's what we're doing starting Monday, was going through the buildings to see what else we think we need.
Yeah.
Like I already know.
is that money, do we have that money now, or is that for a future project date, future timeframe,
Future projects,
future? Okay.
yes.
The government said yesterday, 500,000
Yeah,
each
they gotta,
district.
they gotta give us some. So,
I think whatever this committee can do, not stepping on the school committee's toes, anything that we can do, whatever they recommend,
right.
I'd like to,
The police officer that's here, what is it, SRO or whatever the acronym is, he's armed
Oh, yeah.
with a sidearm, or is he armed with, I mean, is it appropriate to be armed with something more?
He has decided.
I just wanna ask.
He also has a safe in there too.
A safe in there with perhaps other things?
Yes.
Before we keep discussing these things openly, I just wonder if we not want to do that. Except in an executive session.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
It might be more appropriate to wait until they meet, get us more information.
I think it might be more appropriate to wait until we have the walkthroughs and the information come back from that. And to Andrew's point and Diane's point, this is stuff we want to do outside the cameras because we don't necessarily want the general public knowing what we're doing. Because if everybody knows what you're doing, then they know how to defeat it.
We can table this for another meeting.
As long as, the same thing, as long as it's being prioritized and it's kept on the front burner, that's what I'd like to see from the committee.
Can capital projects go in, sorry, new to this, but can the capital project have an executive session to talk about that?
Yeah.
So it just has to be scheduled.
You just have to put it on, you just have to be on
So
the
we
agenda.
can't do that today.
Can we put it on the next agenda so we can
I
brief
think
discussion?
more than likely that, I would be fine because it's, walkthroughs are gonna be starting before the next meeting. So,
I don't believe the next meeting's scheduled, should be scheduled
right,
now.
yeah, I don't think it's gonna be scheduled before the 7th.
Are we gonna be part of that walkthrough? I know we could go if we wanted to, but should we do it as a group? Is it advantageous or not?
We're gonna be walking through schools that are already have kids in them. I don't know if it's a great idea to have a crowd coming through.
Okay.
Personally.
Again, not sure if this is through a committee and they're gonna do the walkthrough, but I mean, is there any kind of outside third-party folks that could be brought in that specialize in this? I mean, again, not to get into the school committee stuff, I understand, but
That is exactly what we did after.
We can speak to that. We put in a request to the Department of Homeland Security to have a security resilience review done. They're busy, but we are planning to have that scheduled as well.
we look for independent contractors, something along those lines.
Is there any upcoming dates that you're gonna need approval for? That should guide us picking the next meeting date?
I don't think so, but I think that beyond giving us the okay to submit 60%, might be good to take a vote to authorize us to go out to bid.
Is there a motion to authorize them to go out to bid once RIDE approves the 60% drawing?
No. So this is what we're gonna do. We want to go out to bid now, right?
Oh, you said we can go to bid, we just can't accept it.
You can't award it.
Right, yeah, okay. Motion to allow them to go to bid.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Thank you.
When is the bids going to come back? When's it due?
So we're gonna set that, but I would think 4 weeks.
Towards the end of the month. We'll probably have comments back for sure.
Yeah, I would think so.
Second your motion.
Big comments to deal with.
I'm just trying to figure it out.
I gotta get it.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever it is, let me know.
Yep.
Send you an email.
Should we do something the first week of July, second week of July? I want to get a date in the calendar.
Okay, no, that's a good idea.
The first week of July.
First week. It was Thursday the 7th. Look for it. Yes.
It works for me.
Andrew, is Thursday the 7th of July work for you?
So I actually am moving out of state. Yeah,
What?
yeah,
Before the 7th?
yeah. So, yeah.
You need to get somebody else.
As the school committee, your school committee,
Yes,
do they know this, they have someone coming in?
they will have, yeah, the town, West Bridge. For my position in the school. committee. And for the school, yeah.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thank you. It's been great working with you guys too. So.
Motion to adjourn,
So,
all right? You'll send out the agenda prior to 7, obviously.
Thank you.
yeah.
You all have a good night.
You too.
Good night. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Take care.
Oh,